2 days ago marked the end of 2 weeks of negotiation in the German city of Bonn between developing nations and rich nations in what was referred to as pay for historic emissions. In the negotiations, developing countries demanded compensation to be able to deal with climate change-induced disasters. And Uganda is one of those nations already grappling with the effects of a climate-changing world, according to Dr. Charles Bate, the Executive Director of Tree Adoption, the organizers of this year's climate change run.
With global warming, we see lots of catastrophes. Landslides, torrential rainfalls, droughts, unpredictable weather patterns that affect agricultural production, result into malnutrition, food insecurity, etc.
Uganda has lost much of her forest cover, reportedly losing 50% of the forest cover over the past decades, making it susceptible to global warming and climate change.
Uganda has lost a lot of its forest cover. Since 1990, we've lost over 50% of our forest cover. Losing forest cover means we do not have the sink for the carbon that pollutes the atmosphere. If we do not have this sink, it means sun rays cannot escape our atmosphere, and therefore our world starts warming up.
This year's climate change cause has attracted both the old and the young, including Byron Timothy, an environmental campaigner who says the world is changing for the worse.
How the world is currently changing for the worse, because the way we are using our resources in the environment is not favoring us at all. Down too many trees at a rapid speed because we are not planting the trees again. Reforestation, we are not planting them again. We are just cutting and cutting them down.
But it's not all over. There is some hope left, and the government and the private sector have all renewed their commitment to reforesting the country's lost forest cover with 40 million trees in the next 5 years.
Pledged to restore, to contribute 20 million trees on annual basis. Government means the Ministry of Water and Environment, NFA and NEMA and the other government agencies that are involved that do tree planting as part of their interventions. Then the other half of the 20 million is supposed to come from the private sector.
The challenge, tracking the number of trees planted, the growth and progression of trees planted, is one that the Ministry of Water acknowledges and says may need a solution.
Challenge with the previous campaigns that we've had is that we've not had the opportunity to document the trees planted. So this is a call to have everyone that is involved in this volunteering that information such that it's captured and credited to them. Because we would like to see that after the 5 years, all the available planting spaces for tree planting are actually occupied with the trees.
Well then, Tree Adoption Uganda, a not-for-profit environmental organization, is already creating solutions around that. The solution, a mobile application that tracks the number of trees planted and the progress in growth.
Use technology to track each and every tree that is planted, and therefore we are able to give immutable data that shows where these trees are growing, and we are able to monitor them. You can map your tree anywhere you plant it. We use machine learning and artificial intelligence technology to ensure that all the pictures or all the data you're sending us is actually tree data.
Climate change is a big challenge for the world, but could be worse for the developing world, which lacks the capacity to mitigate the effects of climate change. And initiatives like tree planting, proper waste management and environmental consciousness are being looked at as magic bullets that could reverse the effects of a climate-changing world. Robert Ndiamhachi for BTM News Today.
Well, very good sceneries over there as young children are getting so much engaged in seeing to it that, they preserve trees and also keep our environment clean.